With all of the talk about relationships, it's going to be impossible to not at some point address the topic of sex and or making love, and for that matter, falling in love. There's a reason why I don't talk about sex and making love with you guys, because most 18-year-olds think that they know all that they need to know about sex and or making love or falling in love, and so I don't get into those types of conversations. Generally, it's not until after you reach 40, 45 years old or sometimes older that in hindsight you look back over your life and your relationships, and you might determine at that point that you have never been in love before. But I will just say this about sex and or making love. I'll put it in the form of a question. Which one are you doing? And I can help you out with, for those of you who are saying, is there a difference and what's the difference? Ladies, if you don't really know the guy very well, or if he doesn't know you very well, then you're not making love, you are having sex. And when you have sex with a guy too quickly, he doesn't think that you think that he's special. Actually, it's the opposite. He doesn't really think that you're all that special if you have sex with him too soon. Now, I'm going somewhere with that. And I guess finally, I'll say this. You can have had sex since you were 18 years old, and even after age 40, still don't know what it's like to make love. And conversely, you can have made love for a year or more without ever having had sex. So there's a tremendous difference, and I don't want to get into all of that. That's not why I'm here today. Welcome to Hashtag Relationships, where we say the right relationship can elevate your entire existence, and the wrong relationship can utterly destroy everything. My name is Jay Jackson, and I want you to know that we are one, and that's the way it is. Shout out to Frankie Beverly and Mays. Guys, if we have to talk about sex and making love at all, let's talk about it like we talk about everything else. Like we talk about the marriage license and all of that. We're going to talk about it from a philosophical standpoint. We have to talk about it from a philosophical standpoint because that's what's going to put sex and or making love back into perspective, because these days we have completely lost our compass on the effects, the side effects of having sex, having multiple partners, and all of that. We've become so desensitized to that. There was a time when the expectation for a man was he would have to wait, and we're going to get into that a little later. So today, let's talk about the philosophical advantages or disadvantages of having sex too freely with multiple partners. Question number one. Sisters, why would you want to have sex with a man who either has not or will not offer you the highest level of commitment? Number two, sisters, still on you. I know you have as much sexual freedom as men, but that does not erase the fact that there's still a double standard when it comes to you having sex freely with multiple partners, men, at different periods of your life. There is still a double standard to the whole sexual revolution as it pertains to women. sex before marriage or sex without being married actually works against women even today. It affects the so-called decent man that you say you're looking for. It has a negative effect on his perception of you. Now, he may not ever say that, and no one has probably ever mentioned that to you, but in case you haven't noticed, and if I'm the only man who will ever say that to you, then let's just let the record show that if you want him, or you want to preserve his perception of you, you're going to have to reintroduce the wait and see. Let's wait and see. You're going to have to reinstitute that into your process if it is not a part of the process, if you're looking for a decent brother. Because if one word gets out that you have never been married and you are in your 40s and sometimes in your 50s, the expectation, sister, is that you're probably not a virgin. So this places you at somewhat of a disadvantage. Which, on the other hand, for the women, those of you who have been married, those of you who decided to ride it out with your marriage, with your husband, and maybe it was a sacrifice and an act of responsibility that you stayed with the family, stayed with the husband, honored your commitment to raise the kids, to keep the family together, and then the divorce happened and it didn't work out for you. Well, that actually places you at an advantage, a tremendous advantage on several levels, sisters, because it shows your willingness to honor your commitment, and also you have experience in the institution of marriage that involves the highest level of commitment. And I also want to give a special shout out to Tammy Warren, who provided the thoughtful insight and inspiration for today's topic. If you would like to submit a topic for discussion, please inbox me or email jayjacksonfitness@yahoo.com. And remember, guys, I'm only here to help. But you got to know that there was something special about the wait and see. Wait and see. There was a time when men, we were expected to wait. And it added to your value, women, when you allowed us to wait. But nowadays, I have to tell young men, sometimes, brothers, it's your responsibility to ask her to wait because she means that much to you. And I know the players, I know y'all out there saying, man, what is this guy doing? He's killing us. Well, I'm not talking about you guys who, y'all do your thing, God bless you. But I'm talking to men and women who are actually looking for that highest form of commitment where they can trust and nurture and have this opportunity for fulfillment in that type of nurturing relationship. And well, you're going to have to bring the let's wait and see and develop those other connections from before you try to undergo that level of intimacy with someone that you have not established all the other bonds with. It makes a difference because, it's that anticipation, it's that level of respect, and it's to maintain your dignity and all these things. It goes in there, and it does make a difference. If you have not been waiting, sisters and brothers, I think you need to bring that back to the forefront because it means that much to you. All right? Again, like I say, I'm only here to help because I want for you what I want for myself. I want you guys to be happy. I want you to be healthy. I want you to live a life of longevity and a life of fulfillment. But above all these things combined, I wish upon you many, many blessings. I am looking forward to your responses. And remember, X marks the spot. You are where you are for a reason, and you are trying to go to a different place. But there are some things that you have to do. There's some things that you have to know, and there's some things that you have to not do. And that's what we're trying to figure out. So I'm looking forward to your responses. And as always, my name is Jay Jackson.